Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video, the European outlook for today's second video. So as always on a Thursday, we're having a look at the weather for the next week, 10 days in detail across Europe, and I shall get on that for you in a moment. Just to say back first, the video release today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast, and we've got a 10 to 14 there with all of red features coming up for you later on this afternoon as well. Please like, share and subscribe on all today's videos and content, and thank you so much everybody for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Okay, let's start off with the situation across Europe today, Ben. So low pressure is dominating and in control across the North Atlantic and through into western parts of Europe. At the same time, there's a ridge over on the eastern side, and in between the low and the ridge, we are drawing up the air from the south, got a southerly wind. The upper air temperatures are looking pretty mild across most parts of Europe today, either from southwesterlies or from southerlies. We see those mild upper air temperatures right way over to the eastern side of Europe, just the far north of Europe, seeing some cold air, but the cold even there is in retreat. Some cooler air starting to come back into the far west of Europe, though, as this low pressure begins to push through. Precipitation-wise, we've got lots of wet weather across Western Europe as well, so heavy rain from northern Spain through France into towards the UK and eastwards into towards the Low Countries and parts of Germany as well. Some really wet weather through there. Many southern parts of Europe looking mainly dry, though. A bit of eastern and northeastern Europe looking pretty dry as well. Just some showers around in places, a few snow flurries as we come up into Scandinavian and also Nordic regions. So that's where the coldest temperatures are. Not as cold as it should be this time of year, but still looking pretty cold across the extreme north and northeast of Europe. But generally it's a mild scene in most areas, mild air in the West Europe extending all the way over into the east. Again, just Ireland and the UK beginning to turn a little bit cooler today. Tomorrow, Friday, we'll see low pressure remaining in control and dominating weather across much of northern and west Europe. We keep those southerly winds going as well. So the upper air temperatures lower a little bit across western parts of Europe. It will feel quite a bit cooler, but the mildest upper air temperature actually extending over onto the eastern side of Europe, particularly from the Adriatic to the Black Sea, including the Balkans. Very mild upper air temperatures through there, and really mild upper air temperatures really for the time of the year across many parts of Scandinavia and Nordic regions once again. That band of rain bringing that mild air into the east side of Europe will be through Italy and up into Austria, Hungary, those sort of areas. And then we extend northwards into the Baltic Sea states of Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, back to Finland and Sweden. And there we find that the precipitation perhaps turns more readily to sleet and snow. Showers into the west of Europe, and some of those will be heavy, perhaps even with a rumble of thunder across parts of France and into northern parts of Spain as well. And temperature-wise, well, the mildest surface temperatures and upper air temperatures as well will be over on this eastern side of Europe, again, particularly from the Adriatic to the Black Sea. Very, very mild, if not quite warm through there. Most parts of the Med looking pretty warm, into the teens Celsius at least. And then we go further northwards, it gets cooler. And western parts of Europe, France, UK, Ireland, Low Countries. Here we will feel a chill compared to the very mild temperatures of recent days and weeks. Still looking pretty cold up across Scandinavia as well. Through into Saturday, the weekend, well, we keep low pressure dominating across northern western parts of Europe, and another area of low pressure beginning to develop in the Atlantic and starting to head towards Ireland and the UK as well, and France perhaps. Meanwhile, over on the eastern side of Europe, well, we keep those southerly winds going, so the upper air temperature looking very mild on this eastern side of Europe, way above average for the time of the year. The areas are originating from northern Africa and wafting up the east side of Europe. At the same time, it is that little bit cooler out across the north of the west Europe, and perhaps turning a bit colder through into Scandinavia and northern parts of Scotland with the -5 Celsius iceberg not far away. So we're going to see more heavy showers, thunderstorm, maybe long spells of rain around the Balkans and down into the southeastern corner. The central bowl of the bed will have further showers as well. And then we go further northwards, quite a bit of dry weather through Germany, Poland, but we come up into the Baltic Sea states, and there we probably have a wintry mix of rain, sleet and snow going backwards in towards the Scandinavian, Nordic regions. Again, we see quite a bit of dry weather, just a few snow flows around. And then there's further showers and longer spells of rain coming into the western part of Europe, again, particularly through France and towards the Low Countries, Belgium, Holland, Netherlands, with more wet weather waiting in the wings out in the Atlantic. Temperatures on Saturday, again, coldest in the far north of Europe, but cooler across the west of Europe. The warmest temperatures, the mildest temperatures, again, will be from the Adriatic to the Black Sea and northwards up into parts of Ukraine. Low pressure then dominates into West Europe on Sunday. This next area of low pressure zipping into southern parts of England, particularly through into France. At the same time, the southerly continues through the eastern portions of Europe. So, again, very mild with the upper air temperatures through eastern parts of Europe and into the southern Europe as well, into the Med. And milder air pushing northwards with that low into France and Germany as well. But on the northern side below, it's actually a bit colder. So some colder air being drawn down in towards Ireland and Britain. And also we find some colder air up over Scandinavia as well. That's where the coldest upper air temperatures are forecast to be on Sunday. Lots of heavy rain through these western portions of Europe as well, again particularly through France, but also affecting some parts of southern southeastern England as well, and over into the Low Countries, through into western parts of Germany too. Further heavy showers and thunderstorms breaking out in towards Greece as well, because some big storms setting up over there. But many eastern parts of Europe actually looking mainly dry until we come to this rain sink. So again, around the Baltic Sea states, and then we go back into Scandinavia and the Nordic regions, and there'll be further showery bursts through there, probably rain through southern parts of Norway, away from mountainous areas, but snow as we push further northwards. And we find that we have wintry showers in towards the UK and Ireland as well. Becoming colder across Scandinavia, so actually that precipitation in southern Norway is probably going to be snow. And yeah, so it turns cold across northern Europe and into the north of Scotland as well, generally on the chilly side through these western portions of Europe with those outbreaks of rain. Again, the mildest temperatures are on the eastern side of Europe once more. Muddy brings an area of low pressure through the central portions of Europe. Again, on the eastern side of that low, we're drawing up a southerly wind. On the western side of the low, we're bringing down some slightly colder air from the north. And the Azores high starting to try and reach northwards in towards Ireland and the UK. The upper air temperatures turn colder across the western portion of Europe with a -5 Celsius iceberg sinking through the UK and down in towards parts of France. But at the same time, milder upper air temperatures being drawn northwards at the eastern side of Europe with those ongoing southerly winds. Excuse me. And as far as precipitation is concerned, so some heavy rain through eastern parts of France in towards Germany and the Low Countries as well. Could be some quite wet weather through there. And then over on the eastern side of Europe, quite a bit of dry weather with both southerlies, although there could be further showers through the Adriatic and the Adriatic coast of the Balkans, I should say. And some showers continuing, but easing off perhaps down into Greece. Northern Europe seeing quite a bit of dry weather, just a few wintry flurries scattered about, and then western parts of Europe will have more showers. As far as the temperature is concerned on Monday, no, very mild at the east side of Europe, looking pretty mild through Poland as well, and going southwards down into the Balkans, through into Romania, Greece, Turkey, looking very mild with those temperatures, if not quite warm. But it's colder in northern and western portions of Europe, with those northerly winds being drawn southwards. That little cold snap doesn't last long. By Tuesday, the winds backing into the west again across West Europe. That will bring milder air back in once more. So the upper air temperatures are looking generally milder through the western portion of Europe as that cold air begins to get squeezed down towards south and southeast. The eastern side of Europe again having pretty mild upper air temperatures too. Precipitation wise, we see wet weather in towards the UK and parts of Norway. That will turn to snow across central northern portions of Norway, of course, as it bumps into colder air. And then we'll see heavy showers and longer spells of rain in eastern portions of Europe again. So some big downpours through there, and some heavy showers in towards the Mediterranean as well. Perhaps a little bit drier through France, Spain and Portugal, though the Low Countries of Western Germany looking somewhat drier too. And temperature-wise, it's cold across northern parts of Europe, but milder in those western regions, certainly milder in the west of Europe, and remaining mild over on the eastern side of Europe as well. Wednesday, so we're remaining that westerly flow really across many areas, but there is this area of low pressure developing across north parts of Africa, and that's pulling in the wind perhaps more from a northeasterly direction down across the Med. So it actually turns a little bit cooler down into there, but really most parts of Europe looking mild or very mild with those upper air temperatures on Wednesday. And more wet weather into the west of Europe as well. Heavy rain pushing from the UK and Ireland towards France, the Low Countries, western Germany, Denmark, and then northwards into Scandinavia and Nordic regions where that precipitation will turn to snow. Then we have a drier slot from Portugal and Spain up towards west of Russia, before we run into more heavy showers, long spells of rain and thunderstorms through North Africa and the Mediterranean. Some really wet weather is possible through there. And as far as the temperature is concerned on Wednesday, coldest across far north of Europe, but generally it's a mild scene through many central and western regions, as well as across southern parts of Europe as well. We go through the Thursday, which is the last day of February and the last day of meteorological winter, of course, and low pressure remains in control across the west of Europe. No changes there. Low pressure coming in back into West Europe, being further wet weather, and we have this area of low pressure down across central parts of the bed as well. Upper air temperatures continue to look milder than average for the time of the year, with further heavy rain coming into western parts of Europe, Ireland, UK, France, getting a further dose of wet wind is, while Italy and central parts of the Med continue to look very wet, with torrential rain, but as well possibly some gale force winds as well through those central parts, southern parts of the Mediterranean. Otherwise, quite a bit of dry weather. We do get some wintry conditions in the far north and northeast from Finland down to the Baltic Sea states. That's where the coldest temperatures remain across the extreme north of Europe, but not as cold as it should be at this time of year, above average even here, and elsewhere it remains a mild scene across many areas and quite warm down into the bed. I'll just run you on to day 10. So this is next Friday, 1st of March. Low pressure continues to dominate weather across the west of Europe, and we go into weekend of 2nd and 3rd of March. So no changes really. Keep that Atlantic flow going. Further unsettled weather with showers, long spells of rain into northern and western Europe, and always looking pretty mild, I think, in most areas, with winds generally either coming from the west or from the south. And that, of course, will end meteorological winter. By that point, we'll be into the start of meteorological spring. Right, okay, so that's the European outlook for this week. I hope you found the forecast interesting and informative. If you have, please can you give us a like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And we're going to be back shortly with the 10 to 14 day, which will include all of Rate's features, so I should see you a little bit later on for that one. But for the European outlook for this week, that's all for now, and thanks so much.